All right, so get this. Imagine a team of event planners who have to create a big event all about AI. What's their wild idea? To use AI to plan the entire thing, from start to finish. This is the story of how they tackled that massive challenge and built something totally new.
Right out of the gate, they came up with the perfect name. And honestly, it says it all. Brains Behind the Bots, a totally human event. The irony is just fantastic, isn't it? It perfectly captures that constant push and pull they were dealing with. How do you use these incredibly powerful bots while still keeping things, human? So what exactly was the mission here? Well, from their very first meeting back on July 30th, the goal was ambitious, to say the least. They weren't just planning another webinar. They were basically running a hackathon on themselves to see if they could use AI to build an entire event from the ground up, and they were going to document every single step.
And when you look at their goals, you see this was never just about the tech. Not at all. This was about people. It was about teaching their colleagues how to actually use these tools, helping new folks in the industry build out their portfolios, and really creating a space where people could learn by doing. The big idea was to empower the humans in the room, not replace them.
Okay, so to make something this crazy happen, you need a solid plan. You need structure. So they started building the machine, piecing together the right teams and the essential tools to make sure everybody, all over the world, was on the same page.
So how do you tackle a giant project like this? Well, you break it into smaller pieces. They created 7 different teams, or work streams. You had your content team, your production team, all the way down to a team just for metrics and another for everything that happens post-event. Each one had clear leaders, which let them divide and conquer. And their first set of tools was super simple, but really smart. They had a Slack channel to talk, a Google Drive to share files, a YouTube channel to post all their meeting recordings, and, this is key, a shared spreadsheet to keep track of every single AI tool they found. This was their command center, the foundation that kept a global team in sync.
But of course, it wasn't all smooth sailing, not by a long shot. The team pretty quickly found themselves running a pretty tough obstacle course, facing some major hurdles that they had to figure out how to get around.
First up, the paradox of choice. There were just so many AI tools. A new one seemed to pop up every single day. Trying to pick the right ones and get everyone on the same page was, frankly, overwhelming.
Next, of course, was the budget. I mean, sure, a lot of these tools have free trials, but the real power, the good stuff, is behind a paywall. Their first guess was, oh, it'll probably cost a couple $100. Yeah, it became clear that it could easily spiral into thousands, fast.
And the biggest pressure of all, time. They were aiming for a late September launch. That gave them less than 2 months to learn all this new tech, create all the content, market the thing, and pull off a live event. The pressure was definitely on. So that really brings us to the big question, right? You're buried in tools, you're short on cash, and the clock is just ticking away. Where in the world do you even begin? How do you turn all that chaos into an actual plan?
Well, it started by them facing this one core debate. It was this constant battle between AI automation and the human experience. On one side, you have AI giving you incredible efficiency and scale. On the other, you have that authentic, creative, human connection that makes an event special. Every decision came back to finding the right balance between these two.
And then they had a breakthrough moment. It came from this quote from Dax Kalner, who was leading the metrics team. He said, "The focus should be on challenges and problem solving, not specific tools." And that just changed everything. He was saying, stop chasing the next shiny tool and start with the problem you're actually trying to solve. The tool's just the how, not the what. And that one simple shift in mindset was huge. It allowed them to finally start forging a real path forward, to move out of that initial chaos and find some real clarity and momentum. And you can actually see that momentum build week by week. After kicking things off, they named the event on August 6th. A week later, they picked their virtual platform. And by August 19th, the content team was presenting a full-blown event framework. The blueprint was really starting to take shape. And then along the way, they were finding some amazing new ways to work. For instance, the marketing team showed off this technique they called vibe coding. Get this. They could just use plain English to describe the vibe they wanted for the website, and an AI would spit out functional code to match it. A perfect example of using AI to solve a real, practical problem. So with these breakthroughs and decisions piling up, the final blueprint for the event really began to solidify. All that early chaos started to morph into a concrete, actionable plan.
First things first, they locked in the date, September 24th,
All of a sudden, this wasn't just some vague idea anymore. It was real. The deadline was set, and it was time to make it happen.
They decided on a super tight 90-minute format for the event itself. It would kick off with an AI avatar as the host, then jump into 7 quick-fire presentations from each team, followed by a live Q&A with the audience, and wrap up with 30 minutes of networking. Fast, informative, and interactive.
And this focus led them to their final, curated tech stack. Remember that endless, chaotic list of tools from the beginning? Well, this is the opposite. This is clarity. Every tool here has a specific job. From the virtual venue down to the AI avatar generator, everything has a purpose.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? I think it boils down to this one question. In a world with a million different AI tools all screaming for your attention, maybe the most important and the most human thing we can do isn't choosing the perfect technology, but working together to create the blueprint that tells that technology what to do. That's the real brain behind the bot.